Welcome to Big Blend Radio, where we celebrate variety and how it adds spice to quality of life. Small business is the backbone of America, and this is why we love to showcase small businesses on Big Blend Radio. And it is the holiday season, so why not support our small businesses? And you can buy online, which is always great, right? So today we're going to talk about gifts for horse lovers. Maybe it is a gift for yourself. Are you an equestrian? Are you showing? Are you jumping? Are you trail riding? Are you putting on a horse event? Well, Christy Wood is here. She is on Big Blend Radio every second Saturday with her ABCs of Horses podcast here on Big Blend Radio. But today we're going to talk about her books. We're going to talk about some horsey hoof art. Did I say that right? Say that 10 times.
Horseshoe art.
Horseshoe art. I was going to hoof art. Come on, that's fun.
Okay.
But horseshoe art, and also a little bit about the Chief Joseph Trail Ride that you do every year. This is a progressive trail ride that takes 13 years. So one of your books is connected with that. And you also have this beautiful scarf that shows the actual trail that the Nez Perce and Chief Joseph took to escape the cavalry. And this is a trail that you can actually drive and hike and horse ride yourself. So, Christy, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you, Lisa. It's great to be here. I'm doing fine. Thank you.
You know what? It's winter, holiday
Yes.
season, winter.
Yes.
And I have to say, in the beginning of the year, Nancy and I had the opportunity to visit the gravesite, the resting space of Chief Joseph, and sent you a photo. And I almost, broke my neck in the ice getting to it. But I was like, if I don't do this for Christy, like she's gonna just like, no, you're dirt. You're dirt. But going there, it kind of made me realize what they battled in regards to the terrain and the climate, the Nez Perce, how they lived, and in their escape through the Calvary. I mean, was it the perfect summer day, or did they go through all kinds of climate and weather, do you think, in that
Yes,
time
it
frame?
actually started in July. They had a meeting with the cavalry in June, and they gave them 30 days to gather up their people and their 2,000 Appaloosa horses, and said, you need to move on to this reservation because we have white settlers coming in to settle the land, and we're taking your land away from you, and you need to move. So it started
Wow.
in June, and he took 30 days, and instead of going to the reservation, Chief Joseph decided he'd rather live in freedom than live under white man's rule, and he followed his 1,300-mile Buffalo Trail that took them over towards Wyoming and Montana on their hunts, and he was trying to find his way to find sanctuary in Canada. So it's a 1,300-mile trail that he eluded the cavalry along the way, and unfortunately they got captured 40 miles below the Canadian border.
Wow, he was so close.
Yes, so close.
It's sad.
But
It's
it's a
sad. And
wonderful
the fact
ride to
that they
live
would
through.
even do it, the fact that they would even chase, what did they
Wouldn't you
want
want to
from
do
him?
that? Wouldn't you want to do that if everything was being taken away from you? I think I would flee also and gather up my.
Yeah, but why would the cavalry really go after him?
Well,
You
the
know,
cavalry, their orders were to bring them back to the reservation, which is so interesting because they had 8 battles along this trail. The Nez Perce won 6 out of the 8, and they still were shooting at them and still trying to annihilate them. And that doesn't sound like a capture to me. That sounds like you're trying to end a species, really.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it
And
was
Chief
very sad.
Joseph, speaking of, he's, the Nez Perce tribe, but he was the breeder of the Appaloosa horse as we know it today.
That's right.
And so he should be revered for that as well as just an amazing leader and, a human being. Can we just say these are human beings on the run,
Well, we revere that by doing this trail ride. This trail ride is in honor of what Chief Joseph did develop as far as the Appaloosa horse. This ride has been going on since 1965 through the Appaloosa Horse Club. And it takes 13 years to complete the ride as we ride 100 miles every year. And so
Wow.
this is our way of honoring his vision, the wonderful horse that he truly developed. And they developed, when I say developed, they actually did selective breeding to get the type of horse that they wanted. And they wanted a good stout, good hoofed horse that could go across the mountains. Of course, the Native Americans didn't shoe their horses, so their feet had to be tough. They had to be swift. They had to be fast in order to chase the buffalo. They also developed a horse that had a beautiful disposition that became a family member These horses were so revered that they actually were in their teepees with them.
Mm.
Now, I've done
Wow.
that. I won't tell everybody, but I have brought one of my horses into my house. I've sort of done the same thing and taken a picture of my horse in front of the fireplace. But they're gentle enough and they're loving enough to be a great companion, and yet to help them survive in the cold winters and chase the buffalo and hopefully and try, of course, to outrun the cavalry as well.
Well, you do know that we have a horse that came into our house too, as I've told you on your podcast.
Yes,
So
yes.
we have something in common there. Ours just knew how to open doors and gates and anything. He was a smart little boy, or a big boy.
Yeah.
But you wrote a book about your rides. Tell
Yes, I
everybody
did.
about it, because I think anyone who is interested in Native American history, in horses, will really find this will resonate with them.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you the book. It's called Hoof Prints Across Time, A Trail Ride to Remember. And it's basically my memoirs of riding all 1,300 miles, all on the same wonderful Appaloosa horse. And it's a wonderful ride through history. You're going to meet the actually descendants of Chief Joseph that come and ride with us. My description is a lot about the trail and the land and the spirit of this trail that is really very strong when you're riding it. And you're going to meet the wonderful people that make this pilgrimage every year, as well as myself. I'm on my 19th consecutive year of this. And of course, I didn't stop when I finished at the 13th year at the end of 1,300 miles. I'm going back and riding actually a half brother to the mare that I rode the first 1,300 miles on. And I'm just enjoying the people and the history. I love the land. It's a great book for bringing you into that realm of the National Nez Perce Historic Trail.
Mm. And you have a scarf, can you hold that up for
Yes,
those
I
who
do.
can
I'm going
see
to hold
that,
that as well.
that
Let's see if
shows the
I'll
trail?
cover myself up for just a moment. There's a scarf that shows the
Mm.
entire Nez Perce Trail, and on the scarf, I've also marked down the years that we travel each year. So they're marked, instead of my book being by chapters, it's by years. And so the scarf shows year 1, year 2, year 3. So you can follow along with the scarf. You can wear that scarf proudly, but you can also have it on your dining room table along with the book so people can see the
Mm.
trail that we ride.
I love this. Nancy and I travel the country full time, so we don't have a lot of possessions anymore. If we're minimalists, we are exactly. But I used to, on my walls, there were the horse years of like there was no wall in my room as a kid, all
Mhm.
horses.
Mhm.
Um, And even your book cover would be torn off and put on there. Sorry, it's true.
Of course.
It's happened. I'm sorry, but it happened.
Mhm.
Those things happen. But I also had all these maps that I had framed of the Native American tribes around our country.
Mm.
Pre territory. And
Yes,
then,
yes.
yeah. And so this is something I feel that we don't even get. I don't know if it's true. Do they teach that in schools? I don't know. But you see, you can get these maps in some of the Southwest gift shops, but I think the stories are kind of forgotten of who comes from where. And also Native American indigenous people have had to be nomadic, just even
Yes,
for like you're talking about, there's water, hunting, what's going on with
right,
the climate, but then,
right.
hello, US cavalry and things
Mhm.
like that. So these maps mean everything to me, and
Yes.
I think they're still in my storage unit. I'm hoping. But these maps, and so when I looked at the scarf that you made, that would be something that I actually would frame
Mhm.
because I
Yeah.
think it's special to see and understand. It brings connection and understanding. And can we fix things? Can we, through time, change
Yes.
things? And through this book, and your writing, this progressive trail ride with others too,
Mhm.
do you feel the book will help people understand what went down? Like have this
Oh, yes.
understanding so that
Yes.
we can have I don't like the word tolerance because it's like, oh, I'm tolerating you. That's
Oh,
like
no, no.
I hate that word tolerance personally, but have compassion and
Yes.
empathy and understanding.
Yes, we're trying to keep the idea of my book is I'm trying to keep history alive. I think we
Mm,
still need to look back at history. I think we need to learn from history. And there's so many good things about it as well, not just negative, but we've got to learn from that. We need to
mm,
learn to be kinder to each other.
mm.
And you're going to see the struggles that the Nez Perce had. And in riding this trail, you're going to see, we still see remnants of when the Nez Perce were there 130 years ago. just
Mm.
there's different things, and hard for me to describe, and I don't want to be the spoiler alert. You need to get my book to read about that. But
Yeah, go
uh,
girl. This is
yeah,
a hey, listen, we're playing QVC, but we're not QVC. But
yeah, but
you know,
there's some great inspiration there. Um, to want to actually go out and hike this trail. You can hike it. You don't have to be on a horse, but you're also welcome to come and camp with us. If you don't want
mm,
to ride the trail, you can move from camp to camp with us each night and camp with the people and listen to the historians and see the land and feel. You feel this trail. I don't know how much more I can describe this, but it's not just riding on a dirt trail. There's still so much life in this trail. The spirits
mm,
are still there. It really
I
touches
love that.
you. And you need to be
Mm,
sensitive to that. And I think
mm,
even my horse, in certain aspects, when she first saw a bison for the first time, wasn't afraid of it. And usually horses will see a different animal like a camel or something they haven't seen before, and they just want to turn tail and run from it. But Dollar literally took that in, and almost she could almost vision, I think she was visioning possibly her own history
mm.
of her ancestors of the Appaloosas from 130 years ago. And she was
It's
calm
amazing.
about it, and just it was just an amazing experience. You needed to be on this trail to truly feel this. And I encourage you to come join us, whether it's on
In the
horseback or
meantime,
not.
get the book. Get
Right,
the book. And I
right.
think it's good
Next
for
thing
those
is to read the book.
contemplating to go on the trail. This is also a great book. So wdnhorse.com is a website for the book and other gifts and other books. But of course, it's on Amazon, all those places too. So if you're always shopping on Amazon, you can get it there.
Yep.
But you have two other books, and this is really, I think, Ranger. Let's touch on Ranger. And the other one is really for like true equestrians that are right in the thick of it. But tell us about Ranger.
Okay, so this one's Ranger. It's Ranger, the little horse with the big heart, and it's 100% based on a true story of this horse's life. He lived to be 32 years young. Just an amazing horse that was sensitive to humans and special needs people, and just an amazing life, very clever. Um, and he was just a very special horse. It was more important about what was inside this horse than how he looked on the outside, because he really was sort of a plain Jane. But he stood up
Mm.
and became a champion, and just it's a great story.
I love it. I love it. Now the other book, and that was Ranger your first one or your other
Now,
book?
Ranger
Which
was the
one?
second book. And by the way, Ranger was really written by, it has my name up there, it's by Christy Wood, but Ranger really wrote the book. So it's in his voice. He talks about his life with humans and other animals, and it's very, very charming. You'll gain some insight on how horses think by reading Ranger. It's really very good. And
That's
then
cool.
my first book is Your Best Horse Show, a guide for managers and exhibitors. This book was written to help show managers and clubs that want to put on a horse show. I wanted them to be a little more successful, because I've judged some really wonderful shows in my career, and I'm still judging. But I also had to judge one time. I hate to say this on the air, but I judged the horse show from hell, because I had to stand in the arena 23 hours judging because this horse show was so poorly managed. So I came home and I wrote a handbook of how to help clubs um, uh, designate other jobs people can do, like announcers and gate people and ring crew and your awards, and establishing a date and a facility to help them be successful in managing a show a little bit better than the one that I had to judge. It was so difficult. And there's also tips in there for exhibitors who are first
Mm.
timers coming out to horse shows, that want to know what to expect at the facility, how to deal with the show management or the show secretary, how to get your entries in ahead of time, different things like patterns. It's just a wealth of information for anybody that wants to get involved with horse shows.
Okay, excellent. Now let's get to the hoof art. I'm sorry, I'm calling it hoof art, but it's horseshoe art.
Well,
Sorry.
horseshoe.
I just, but the hoof is amazing to me,
So
It's a beautiful,
here's what we
yeah.
start with is we start with, my job is to ride the horses and wear out the shoes. And I give them to my husband, Steve, who gets very creative and makes hooks out of hay hooks. You can see that to the side, and
Oh,
horseshoes.
cool.
It's just really neat. And his job then, he takes, not his job, but he loves doing this. He loves doing candle holders. You could put your jewelry in there. Um, Anything
Candles.
that you would want.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? I just love
Now,
it.
I heard from a little birdie that looked at your website
Yes.
that he also does wine
Oh,
holders,
you'll
wine
love this.
bottle
You'll
hold.
love this,
You
Lisa.
know I had to go there.
I've got this one just for, just for you. This is a wine holder. Sorry about the tag being in the way.
Wine bottle
There's a
holder,
horseshoe
yeah.
and there's a beautiful spur at the bottom, and the
Oh,
bottle just rests in there. It's like a little cradle.
hey, did we visit you? That wine bottle's empty.
Well, so Steve also has, that's his job. Not only I wear out the shoes, he takes the shoes and makes this, but he also has to empty the bottles for display.
I need to come hang out with your husband.
Yes, you do. You guys
Nancy and
are
I are
so
coming to see you guys again. Yeah,
yeah.
it's been a while since we've seen Christy. Oh my.
Yeah, then here's another one for holding, it can hold a bottle of Pellegrino. This one has a bit. I can turn it to
Oh,
the side like this with the horseshoe, another beautiful spur at the bottom.
oh
There you
wow.
go.
This
So
is
there's just
great for
different
a
designs
Western
that he
theme.
makes.
Great for a Western themed home, right?
Right.
You
And
know?
then there's even one for those people that like a little bit of more heavy duty, I suppose, spirits. This is a
Oh, the Jack
chair. This is
Daniels.
a
Oh,
chair, which is made out of a spur and the horseshoes. And this can hold, this one says Jack Daniels, but it can also hold oh, what's the um
Jim Beam.
yeah, what's the
I was gonna say you could
I
this
drink a
would be
lot of
for people who
alcohol,
have
so I don't know
Tennessee
what it is, but
walkers.
the oh, tequila bottles.
Oh yeah,
So the third
reposado.
bottles that are like that, tequila bottles.
Anybody who wants to send me some reposado, they're welcome.
So then I'm
But
gonna step out of screen for just a moment because I'm gonna show you the horseshoe Christmas tree.
tree.
Look at
Oh,
that.
that
There's
is
the
so
bottom of
beautiful.
it, and there's the top.
And that's awesome to
That's
have
made out
even
of horseshoes.
I love a
It-
horseshoe tree.
It's
That
a
is
horseshoe
beautiful.
tree. Yeah.
Because listen, if you have cats, well, they're still gonna go at it because you got dangly decor on it.
Yeah.
You
And then
can't have Christmas
behind me is a
ornaments.
cross made out of horseshoes
I
and
love that.
a ball cap holder. And if I tip the screen a little bit, you might
Oh,
be.
so you can use the horseshoes
There it
for
is. There's
oh,
the
look at the
butterfly.
butterfly art.
A
Ooh,
beautiful butterfly.
that's awesome for your garden.
Yes, exactly. So he does.
So horseshoe art, everybody, go to wdnhorse.com.
Yes.
And again, don't forget when you're there, listen to Big Blend Radio episodes of APC Horses with Christy Wood. She's here every second Saturday. But right now, let's go shopping, y'all. It's the holiday season. We need to feel some joy and some light. And, for gifts for horse lovers, these are all perfect.
Just to
Thank
let
you
you know,
so much.
you're
Mhm.
welcome. Just let you know, we have a little studio here too, so we are open while we're here at the ranch. We are open. You're welcome to call ahead of time, but we have a studio now open so people can come in if you're in the area visiting.
And you also have some of the horse art in some of the local shops, right? In
Yes, we
Three
do.
Rivers.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so watch for that, the local stores in Three Rivers. Three Rivers is right outside Sequoia National Park. It is in Tulare County, very close to Visalia, Exeter, and it is an art community. There is Reimers where you can get ice cream, and
Oh,
there's a
yes.
Christmas shop there. There's
Mhm.
candy. There's
Yep,
a wonderful deli. You know what? You've got to just go to Three Rivers. I
that's
love
right.
Three
Come to Three
Rivers.
Rivers.
All right, Christy, thank you so much and happy holidays to
Thank you,
you.
Nancy. Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy New Year.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio. Keep up with our shows at bigblendradio.com.